Burn the witch. Burn the witch. Purge the empire of the forces of evil. Kill. Cut out her damn tongue and throw it to the dogs. For what? Is death really the price that people pay for cheating? The criminal is sentenced to be burned at the stake for the following crimes. She showed disrespect for the empire by posing as a saint. And, blinded by jealousy, tried to kill the empress. Everyone was screaming, yelling for the girl's body to be set on fire. But the girl believed that she was guilty of only one thing. In his own helplessness. The fact that she dutifully accepted the role of a saint, which was imposed on her. She simply did not have the opportunity to become a true saint. If this is her punishment for cheating, then she will dutifully accept it. But what kind of retribution awaits those who forced her to lie? If divine powers really exist, let her destroy these people with her own hands. The child. The deity heard her request. Her only sin is her unshakable faith in love. And so the deity gave her the opportunity to turn back time. In this life, she will be loved. Alicia was awakened by an exclamation. There was a maid opposite and she was interested in her condition. She had just been burned. I must have had a nightmare. She lay unconscious for several days. As soon as the girl came out on the balcony, people turned their eyes to her. People shouted that this girl was a saint and asked for blessings. When the rays of the sun illuminate everything around, she greets the people of the empire with a light wave of her hand, who have been waiting for her appearance since dawn. The perfect picture. Without the slightest flaw. But not a single soul knows that this is just a well-planned performance. And she's just a puppet who follows this scenario. A year ago, a prophecy descended on the empire. A maiden who shines brighter than the sun, with eyes the color of lapis lazuli, will lead the empire to prosperity. Prophecies in the ancient language can have different meanings. It all depends on how to interpret them. Therefore, there was a practice of inviting various scientists and theologians from all over the world to interpret them. However, a year ago, the Supreme Temple unexpectedly announced that a girl with light golden hair and azure eyes would become a saint of the empire. After that, the priests went in search of the girl from the prophecy. All the candidates were taken to the Supreme Temple for verification. Of course, one of them was Alicia. Alicia Sorcelian is a name that no longer belongs to her. The only daughter of Duke Sorcelian, a beautiful lady from a noble family, became the saint mentioned in the prophecy. Golden curls, as if woven from the rays of the sun, and eyes that resembled the endless blue sky. Once Alicia became a saint, no one even doubted that she was the personification of the Heavenly Mother. Isn't she the perfect candidate to be a saint? However, it was all a lie. The role that Alicia played at the behest of the temple. Lunch time. Another order from His Holiness. He told the girl to eat only light food. Archbishop Libentius. It was this man who made Alicia a saint. What she eats, how much she sleeps, every look, every breath, he controls her whole life. Even the marriage with the crown prince was concluded without her consent. Although it was a marriage of convenience, hope was born in the girl. There was a man in her life who was on her side. Thanks to him, this place didn't seem so terrible anymore. If he refuses now, it is unknown how long he will have to starve. I need to eat. The archbishop came to escort the girl to an important meeting. It seems he interrupted her meal. However, he ordered the girl to go now, supposedly she had eaten enough. Although I saw for myself that she only lifted her fork over her plate. The girl wanted to apologize and still ask for food, but the archbishop arrogantly cut off, "Holy One, how can you be attached to such a simple thing as food?" He went berserk and went up to the fragile girl, grabbed her face with a huge strong hand. He said that she should smile regardless of the situation, a smile should always shine on her face. It's much better this way, the archbishop added and grabbed the girl's hand. His Majesty wishes to meet with Alicia, and lately the Emperor has been very concerned about his demise. And she must pray for his soul. And the Archbishop also told Alicia to be quiet, as befits the incarnation of their goddess. They arrived at the Emperor's chambers. The girl said that she had heard his request for a visit. The Emperor had a question. He said he had committed a great sin 25 years ago. Will he be able to redeem himself? She doesn't know. She doesn't know who has done what in the past. She is an ordinary person with no holy power. How dare she? The Emperor has fallen into despair, will he not be forgiven? He sobbed, and the girl fell into a stupor. He began to pray to Alicia to grant him forgiveness so that his soul would calm down. The Emperor clung to the girl's arm. He was shaking, groaning and crying. Forgiveness. The saint broke free from his grasp, asking him to stop. He fell to the floor. The girl was driven away from the Emperor. She didn't do anything. The heir arrived, he was informed that something had happened to his father. The Emperor died. The girl was standing next to him. Victor ordered her to explain herself. The girl was about to explain herself when the Archbishop interrupted her, saying that thanks to the prayers of the Holy Emperor, he left this world with a calm soul. He immediately changed the subject. It's time to decide who will take the throne. The Chancellor has intruded into the conversation, the situation needs to be resolved properly. After all, princes have an equal position. What motivates the Archbishop to make such hasty decisions? They don't even know the Emperor's last will. One of the servants came. An envelope was clutched in the Emperor's hands. There, His Majesty's last wish. Everyone tensed up. The Emperor provided for such a turn of events and, in order to avoid confusion and disputes, made a will. The Archbishop grinned, because, in his opinion, the saint will be able to confirm the authenticity of the will. Let her read Imperatov's last will aloud, the advisor asked. Today my long journey has come to an end, the Emperor writes, and I have fallen into eternal sleep. I declare Crown Prince Victor is the rightful heir to the throne. I am sure that, as Empress, the saint will guide my son and help him become a great emperor. This is the full contents of the will. The Archbishop knelt at the feet of the heir and bowed, may the light of the new emperor illuminate the empire. Time flew by imperceptibly, Victor and Alicia gradually got used to their new position. Victor became not himself, he had never behaved like this before. After the coronation, he began to move away from the girl. Maybe he was disappointed in the girl when he realized that she did not have holy power. She promised herself that she would achieve more. He told Alicia that he didn't expect anything from the girl. In the past, this may have been the case, but now it doesn't matter at all. Victor thinks that he is already attentive enough to the girl, and left. At that moment, the girl thought that His Majesty was against marriage, that he had married only because of a prophecy. But he convinced her that Alicia was the only one he was willing to share his life with. And he would devote the rest of his life to her. But it all makes no sense. Suddenly, the girl noticed something on the balcony of her rooms. Heaven, something is wrong. Darkness is in the air, but no one sees this smoke. Victor, what is he doing there? The girl ran, her husband may be in danger. The darkness was thickening, and everyone else noticed it too. For others, this darkness looks like light. A girl began to descend from the sky. She sank right into Victor's arms. This is a saint, everyone said, undoubtedly a real saint. Then the current saint, who is she? People were whispering in the yard, calling her a witch. There is also a crop failure along with the flood. They say it's all because of Alicia. After the dark-haired girl descended from heaven, she was immediately given the place and title of Alicia, and she was branded a witch. Alicia was called to her by the new saint. The dark-haired girl was annoyed by the girl, and it turned out to be very boring in the palace. She was already tired of talking about the saint and the empress, and Alicia was also getting on her nerves. The empress did not like the look, and she began to put pressure on the poor girl. "Have you forgotten," she says, "thanks to whom your head is still on your shoulders?" The archbishop said that the temple would take full responsibility for the misinterpretation of the prophecy. And they were also going to find everyone who participated in this and would definitely punish them. A check at the palace indicated that that dark-haired girl was indeed a saint. Victor proposed to deprive Alicia of the title of saint, and it would be right if she renounced the title of empress. She replied that she would follow the will of the temple. The chancellor objected that such actions would not justify a liar who had deceived the entire empire. One of the counselors picked him up, adding that Alicia should be punished, since she took the place of the saint on purpose. The dark-haired girl offered her own version. She went up to Alicia and asked if she needed to be reminded who had saved her that day. And who prevented Victor from throwing her into prison. It was a dark-haired girl. She was forced to become a saint and empress instead of Alicia, appointed her to the position of her assistant and saved her. She did all this, and now Alicia dares to look at her like that? It's so selfish, the dark-haired girl added. She stepped on the girl's chest with her shoes and took the brooch, a gift from Alicia's father. This is the only thing left of her family, because she is forbidden to visit the family estate. The girl began to cry and beg, saying that she would do anything, except any punishment. The brooch shattered and the empress laughed loudly. It turns out that her father was taken into custody by the imperial family for blasphemy. He's probably dead if he hasn't visited Alicia. The girl sobbed, saying that her father was against her becoming a saint to the end and did not try to pass her off as a saint by deception. It doesn't matter now, the second one laughed. The main thing is that all this was planned by her from the very beginning. She also spread rumors that Alicia had caused famine with her charms. Why did they do this to her? She just did everything she was told to do. Naive. People don't need a reason to hate each other. The girl opposite is a witch. And the empress immediately said that you have to pay for your words. At the snap of his fingers, a flock of crows appeared. The empress screamed for help. Crows began to circle over her. She screamed that Alicia had used magic and wanted to kill her, and then the raven slashed her in the face. People were shouting, "Grab the witch." The girl ended up in a dungeon. Not only was she branded a witch, so they were also accused of attempting to assassinate the empress and sentenced to death. Victor must understand that she is not capable of such an act. He is such a kind and wise man, however, what if he moves away from her because of this? He came to her, and Alicia was incredibly happy. But his face was darker than the night sky. In a second, he went berserk, saying that the girl did not understand what she had done and hit her. He insisted that she had no idea what he had to do for the emperor's place. His eyes were boiling with rage. The girl fell to the floor in tears. This is not the man she knew at all. He seemed to be furious, saying that she was greedy, pulling her hair. "Did you think," he says, "that if you killed the empress, you could take her place? Like me, who became emperor after that?" The girl tried to get up, but he hit her again. Said she wanted to kill the empress, but she didn't do anything. If he really loves her, let him believe her, she's not a witch. He exhaled. Did you love him? Why did she decide to talk about love? He had never loved her. And now I've decided to teach Alicia a lesson, just like in the good old days. Victor grabbed a red-hot piece of iron. She was just a tool to achieve his goals, and since she wasn't a saint, he didn't need her at all. The girl asked him to stop, but the enraged emperor did not listen. It was necessary to be quiet, he said, but alas. He cauterized her back and the girl screamed in pain that he said it was an ugly stigma to put on her. The emperor ordered to break her nails and torture her until she confessed. If she gets tired, bring her father. He didn't even care about the confession, he just wants the girl to suffer. Nothing will soothe the commoners like the suffering of a witch for all their failures. How quickly they changed their minds. She was ordered to say her last words. The last words. If she is guilty, and indeed her soul will wander the world forever, she will never forgive them for what they put her through. And what they did to her and her father. She never did. He will never forget. She swore to make sure that their rotten souls writhed in eternal torment. Victor ordered to cut out the girl's tongue and throw it to the dogs. If only she'd been given another chance. A chance to start all over again, then she would have destroyed them with her own hands. A woman's voice woke her up. A maid stood nearby, who was swarming over Alicia. The girl did not come to her senses for several days, the woman said. The girl did not understand what was happening. It turns out that she suffered from fever for several days. Everyone thought they would lose her. Is it a fever? A man appeared next to me. The temperature hasn't gone down yet, so it's better for her to stay in bed. It was the Holy Father. The servants did not leave him in an attempt to thank their master. He exhaled, saying that he was only praying for the girl. Why can't she remember anything? What happened?